A friend often makes fun of your opinions.
Okay.
So trash taste, basically.
Sure.
This podcast.
All right.
Okay.
I am ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I am also ready.
2, 1.
Oh, we're all green.
I actually think it would be a red flag if it was the
Didn't.
opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your friends don't make fun of your opinions, you're not friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Right. I do think there is obviously a line, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if all you do as a friend is make fun of someone's opinion and that's all your relationship is, then no, I think at that point you're just being a dick.
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be a give and take. But on the opposite end, if I have a friend and this makes me I'm just realizing this makes me sound like an awful person. If all they do is just bring me just give positivity, you know, I'm like, something's off.
Yeah.
Something's off. Something's off.
The hyper, I think that's
like
just
hyper positive.
That's the British and Aussies in us, where it's like, you know, it's that whole idea of like, I'm making fun of you because I love you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know? Like, I wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
If someone is too nice to me, that's when I'm like, you're not being real.
Yeah, what are you hiding?
What are you hiding? That means we're not
Yeah.
close enough. That means we're not
Yeah.
close enough.
You need to have that. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely think you need to have someone who's willing to make fun of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also, you know, I feel like as well, like if it starts off with like, you know, how it normally happens with like us, for example, where it's like, you know, we jab at each other's opinions, but then after the jabbing is said and done,
Yeah.
and then we start actually talking about it more in depth and, you know, providing different, angles of that same opinion, then, you know, that can lead to like a genuinely interesting and fun conversation. But like, if it just ends at like, you're a fucking idiot,
Yeah.
and then nothing else, then I'll be like, well, I mean, do you want to add to that? Like, do you want to?
Life's too boring not to make fun of each other.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
gotta make fun of each
You
other.
gotta bust your friend's balls
Yeah,
sometimes.
You know,
It's
and
fun.
if your friend hurts your feelings for making fun of it, you know, maybe explain that to him, but
Yeah.
also make sure that, you know, you being upset about it is in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
But,
justified.
make sure you don't only just make fun of their
Yeah.
opinions. And make
Yeah.
sure there's a moment where you actually like are
A
there for them.
good mate would know when to make fun of your opinion, when
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They'll-
it's
they'll
also
know
up
the
to, you
border.
know, like
Yeah.
you also are, as the person who's about to express your opinion, you are also the vibe setter. You
Yes.
can
Yeah.
also make it like, you can be like, all right, boys, I got a weird
Okay.
take here. And then you could say it, and then obviously you're setting it up where he's like, guys, I really need your opinion on
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
Here's the real question though. You meet someone new. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel the vibe, whether you are the first person to, you know, make fun of something they said, or do you wait for them to like give you a bit of like,
Oh, no, I'll do it off air.
give you a shot?
If someone tells me something that sounds like stupid,
Yeah.
I'll right off the bat.
For me, I don't give a fuck, and maybe this makes me a terrible person, but like the moment I'm like starting to get in a conversation with you, in my head it's like, okay, the firing range is open now.
Yeah.
Like it's
No,
time.
I
to,
also feel that like it's a good indication of if they kind of get the vibe and
Yeah.
they get the joke. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, you're a fucking moron, fucking, you should never exist. You
start light
Yeah.
and then work your way up
Right.
and then see where the limit is. You know.
Yeah. Because I often feel like it's harder to feel the vibe when you like, if it's a British person or an Aussie person, fucking easy. You open up the conversation and within 5 minutes you can just call them a you know. And
they'll be
90%
like,
of people
"Hey!"
would be like, hey, all right, we're gonna get along well with each other. With Americans, sometimes you really have to like feel the vibe of like, am I going to offend them? If
Yeah.
I'm
Nah,
saying
I
something?
think it's okay too.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay
But
too.
because I think they understand that we're coming from a different background and culture anyway. So, you know, they might hear us or see us, you know, dropping the C word on them. And, you know, to
Yeah.
them, it's like, oh, God. But
Yeah.
maybe they'll be like, oh, yeah, but they're not American.
Yeah.
You know, to them, it's like normal and whatever. And they're just, you know, having fun or whatever. You know, I've had that many times before where I've dropped the C bomb in front of an American. Some
Yeah.
of them have just been like, hey, man, you can't say that. And then other
Yeah.
times they're just like, you Aussies are fucking crazy. You know, like it can go either way depending on the person, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, even if this sentence was just a friend often makes fun of you, green flag. It doesn't even have to be opinions.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
think
right?
so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're friends, you make fun of each other. That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How else are you going to be like close?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
If I can't feel like I make fun of you, if I don't feel like I can make fun of you, then I'm just gonna feel like there's a barrier between us.
I think it's also an important thing to be okay with people making fun of you.
Yeah.
Like I think that is a,
Yeah,
that's
no
what
one's
it is.
perfect, and you can use that as into your advantage in conversation.
Whenever I like join friend groups or like for an evening or something, I'll always notice that like there's always like one or two people who get made fun of the most because they're like so open. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, and they're often like the most fun because they're like so willing to kind of,
Totally
be a part of the vibe.
Yeah.
There's always that one friend who like is so willing to make fun of someone but does not like being made fun of.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I hate that because I'm like, dude.
Everyone watching this right now probably just like, I know that
Everyone's
guy.
got that one
I
friend.
know that guy.
And he's always like the most serious one.
Yeah.
And he's so like willing to like make fun of everyone, but so unwilling to let it happen to him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a red flag.
That is a red flag.
That is a red flag.
That is a red flag.
That's a red flag.
If this sentence was a friend often makes fun of your opinions, but you can't make fun of them, then that's the biggest fucking red flag.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, hey man, that was not cool.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what the
When
fuck?
it's like, it wasn't even that
Oh,
bad.
I don't know. So it wasn't cool the other 50 times you made fun of me?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
It's like, I just said exactly the same thing you said to me,
calm
and now
the
it's
fuck
not
down,
cool.
bozo.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I just have memories of like Jackbox games where it was like the same 3 people who got made fun of. And I was like, hey, what's going on here, bro? Huh? I'm not making fun of everyone. All right.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. A friend likes to take charge in group settings, often deciding what the group should do or where to go.
All right. All right. Let's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Ready? 3,
3, 2, 1.
Dude, I've been spamming green. I've
Yeah.
only done green.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is green. Every friend group is very like flip-floppy, and there always needs to be one person who's like, all right, I'm going to fucking do it.
Look,
that doesn't necessarily mean it's always the same person.
Yes.
Yep.
But generally for things to happen, someone needs to take charge and decide.
In
things.
almost every friend group that I have been or am currently in, I am always the person who's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm down for anything, bro. Someone else make a decision for me.
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
No, you are that
never-
person, Joey.
And if there is someone
if
there,
Joey didn't have this friend, Joey would be a
I would do nothing.
Joey would just be sitting in the chair being like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, it's
What-
like
what-
I
what am
can
meant to
do everything, but also can do nothing. So if there's someone in my friend group who's like, yo, what about we do this and we do that? I'm like, yeah, all right, sick. Finally, we made a decision. Let's go.
I'm sometimes you. I'm sometimes the guy who takes charge.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't like
same
always
here.
being the guy who takes charge.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to do it if you want to get something done.
Yeah, it's all about the group vibe because someone does need to take charge of the group because you can't have a whole group of friends being like, I'm down for anything. Whenever we go out with like a group of friends and there's always that conversation about like what to eat, bro, I fucking despise that conversation. Give me someone who is
lock
like,
in.
hey, I found a place, let's go there.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than this fucking half an hour dance about what do you feel like? Oh, I don't know. This is okay. We're good. We're okay for here.
But I think the best case is what I've learned from this is the friend group where depending on what the activity is, there's always like a different spearhead.
Right.
Like someone is like, all right, this is the thing I really want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take control of this.
Yeah.
And like get everyone like available and
Yeah.
Totally.
So it kind of changes. That's the
I think the one thing-
totally, Joey. When do you take charge?
Sometimes I do.
I'm kidding.
Dude, whenever I do a mahjong session, I'm used to someone starting it up. I'm like, let's go, boys.
True.
I think the one lesson I've learned from being on both sides of the friend group on this one is that you just need to not worry about making sure you do something that appeals to absolutely everyone. Because
just rip it.
because I think the biggest thing to getting something and getting a setting or an activity not getting done is waiting for everyone's approval. And the right
You
thing,
just got to say like, I'm doing this date.
Yeah.
Who's down?
yeah, exactly. And you're not going to be offended if someone doesn't show up or someone it's not for someone.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is that you set a date or someone sets a date. The people in the friend group who want to do the activity, they come. And the people who don't want to go, they don't come. And no one gets offended
Yeah.
when someone drops out
Exactly.
of said activity. Because I've been in some friend groups where it's kind of like, oh, we all need to do this one thing together constantly. And that was more when I was younger. But as you've grown older, you start to realize, oh, people just sometimes want to do different things.
Yeah, don't set expectations too high of like who's going to show up.
So
and
yeah,
what
I
we're
really
gonna
want
end up doing.
like I might be like I really want to go to this restaurant. I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's me or 5 people who wants to
Yeah.
join.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
often good as well.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
also-
keep footseeing you under the table. Sorry.
I've also felt bad for some mates that I know who have tried to sort out a night out and they've
It's
just,
like herding cats.
and they've just like waited for everyone to be like, yes, okay, I'm
Yeah.
okay with doing this.
No,
And
you
they
just gotta rip it.
Yeah,
You'd be
yeah,
like,
and it just
25th,
never
I'm doing
happened because
this.
that one person
Yeah.
didn't reply, and
Yep.
I'm like, no, just fucking do
Just
it.
do it.
Set a date, and people will show up,
Yep.
and that's the important thing.